what's your secret? You got the kind of vibe that leaves one speechless. It could be model multitasking genius. Yeah, you got it all.
Welcome to Breakthrough Conversations with Rhoda and Company. Today's conversation is about leadership, not the title, the mindset. I'm joined by Whitney Howard, founder of the Benjamin Effect, revenue and operations strategist and speaker. Whitney traveled all the way from Florida to be here in St. Louis, her original hometown.
Yes.
I'm so excited. And Whitney started her career in customer support. Early in her journey, she learned something most people miss. Doing the work is not the same as owning the outcome. She rose quickly to a director level role, leading operations tied to a multi-billion-dollar book of business. Along the way, she recovered millions in lost revenue and built systems that actually work. What stands out most about Whitney is not what she does, it's how she thinks. And at such a young age, too. She's written books and all kind of things at a very young age. She helps leaders and founders see what is quietly costing them, align their operations, and build businesses at scale. So today, we're going to talk about the mindset shift that took her from entry level to executive and what leaders must do differently if they want real results. Whitney, welcome to Breakthrough Conversations.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, I appreciate it.
So I wanted to start with this question. You started in customer support. I started as a cashier, but early in my career, I was in customer service as well at a hospital system. But you started in customer support and moved quickly to director level. What did you see or do differently early on?
Yeah, I think early on, I automatically knew going in it wasn't my ceiling. Like, I was grateful to be in the room and everything, but I knew this wasn't my ceiling. I was in college when I first started. So knowing that made me move differently coming in. I'm observing, I'm understanding why things are happening. Everyone's trying to get everyone off the call when they're talking to customer support. I'm like, why are they calling in the first place? Are we noticing a trend? I'm already trying to look for my next thing. And so I think having that ambition early in any role that I do, it just led me to look for problems that I can solve early on.
That's amazing. So at that early young age in your career, you not only had the ambition, but you were curious too. So you asked a lot of questions. That is not something that is just given. This is a gift that you have. Like an old soul.
Yeah.
A lot of wisdom comes with that. Going into a role knowing that that's not your ceiling.
Yeah.
Most young people are grateful to have the job, going to put their head down. And yes, you must have ambition, but it sounded like you had something even greater than ambition. I think it was sprinkled with curiosity and understanding that I can do more. And not only can I do more, I will do more. I love that. So when did you realize doing your job well, it wasn't enough to grow?
Early on as well. So before I was hired on, I was a contractor as a customer support agent. And then I got hired on to simply open tickets for this technical group. And so I was just opening tickets, signing out all day. It was the simplest thing, but it was easy to do. So I would look at their tickets, how they're closing it, trying to understand it, all of that. And I'm seeing them be these amazing doers. They're doing their job well. There's like 1,000 ticket backlog. They're having issues with that. And so I'm like, hey, I can help. I'm putting myself out there. And I remember the leader being like, no, you have to have a degree. And I was still in college. And I'm like, I literally see how to handle this ticket. I can help. But that was my first lesson. And I learned that so early because they were like, hey, here's something that you can do in the meantime for like a stretch opportunity. You can go for your Lean Six Sigma yellow belt.
Right.
And so I did that. And then I realized the whole time it's not that I'm just not asking the right way. So I turned my first green belt project into my promotion. Little did they know. So I'm like, okay, you guys have 1,000 ticket backlog. I don't have a degree yet. If you had a junior analyst who can handle these simple tickets, and then you have the other analysts handle the heavier tickets, we can clear it up. I can get 10 tickets done while they're doing this one ticket. I did a whole project on it. It got approved. I got my promotion. So I learned early, and then it's always a win for me, that story, because still to this day, I was the first junior analyst from that project that I did, and now they have like 15 plus people as junior analysts. And the other
you built the whole career
yes
ladder.
And that was so early. It just taught me early to realize like, if you just sit there and do your job well, I would still be a grand ticket opener right now. So I just took the initiative. I learned how the business needed to be needed to be said, and then I took off from there.
The other thing I heard you say, and I teach younger people this that contact me for mentoring and coaching, career coaching, is don't wait till you get to the next role or the next level or the promotion. Grow in the role.
Yes.
So that when that opportunity presents itself, you have something to sell. You can show I've done A, B, and C, and I've grown and I developed this and I led this, etc. Because you had that foresight, you created the role. And then to this day, those roles still exist.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So it's no wonder you've helped companies, operations identify lost revenue in multi-billion-dollar books of business. What was the first moment you started thinking like an owner instead of an employee?
I think that was a part of it where I realized the business language and what they needed to hear. From an employee perspective, I'm just like, this is what I want. And then I'm like, wait, okay, this is what they need. So from an owner perspective, there's a problem, come with a solution, own the result of that solution. So it becomes bigger. That was part of it. And then something that I learned actually later in my career that really had me become an owner was being more authentic to myself. I think when I first entered, I mimicked what I saw and I didn't see a lot of me. And so I realized I was becoming more like, I was almost robotic in a sense.
Becoming more homogenized.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, I got under one leader who literally was like, loosen up. And being under her and just seeing how like comfortable she wanted me to be and how I became so much smarter. I became so much open in how I spoke. I became the person that spoke up in the room a lot more, and my career started to take off. So I think being an owner from a solution perspective is good, but like showing up as your authentic self, the weight that it lifts off of you, the freedom that it gives you to be comfortable saying what you feel or what you want to do is just night and day.
I am so grateful that whoever that leader was that triggered you to be you.
Yes.
By saying something as simple as loosen up.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for that because one of my pet peeves is that we show up as most of us as what we think we should look like in corporate America.
Yep.
Or in life. And when we do that, we are depriving ourselves and the world of the gift of you.
Absolutely.
So I'm so glad that you removed that and you show up as your authentic self and you saw that yourself is the bomb.com and it is enough and it has gotten you this far.
Absolutely. Not only is it like not a lot, it's just more than enough. It's like you're allowed, but you're also a necessity in the room. And I realized that before. I'm just like, well, this is so great. I'm here. I'm with the big league. No, you are needed. Like your diversity of thought, your input, like it's a necessity.
That's I love it. So you talk about fixing what is quietly costing businesses. How did you develop that lens?
I think it's because of how I started, honestly. When you're in customer support, you get to understand what's happening on the front line. I did technical support. I got to understand what's happening within the systems for a customer. I was on a contract team. I got to understand what's happening from a revenue perspective. I did sales support. I got to understand what's happening before a sale and after a sale. So my whole career was me supporting in all these different ways. So by the time I became a leader, I got to tie all that together, see bigger picture, understand what's really needed, not just for maybe my team, but from a business as a whole. And having that bigger picture mindset is critical because certain leaders or certain people, they're so focused on their one piece of the puzzle, and seeing it bigger, you can develop a lens that like helps the organization as a whole.
Yes, I love it. And something that's coming to me right now, I know you have the name of your business, the Benjamin Effect. It's Mindset Institute. Like that's speaking to me. So I don't know if that's a book or a business or something, but
I like it.
You're oozing it.
Yes.
Because it's all about mindset. Everything you said going into your first job, you was like, I knew this wasn't my ceiling. Growing so that you could create opportunities for yourself. You was like, what can I do to put this business case together? It's all mindset. So
Agreed.
What do most leaders miss when it comes to operations and results?
I think most leaders miss the fact that operations is a result. I feel I have a sweet spot for operations because I think we focus on the sale and the wins there, which is critical, right? That's how the business, we get the money coming in. But we also miss that sale that comes in might not be what's showing up on that invoice and what's coming out in the bank account. And the bridge between what was sold and what the business is getting paid for is how it's operating. Right. So I think it needs to be a little more respect for the operations side of the house and what they're doing in order to bring the business success. From a leadership perspective, even I think leaders don't really understand the impact in their roles in that wheelhouse that they're really bringing to the business. So I think the result within operations is a lot bigger than what people think.
I think not only do leaders not understand their place in the business outcomes and how they contribute to them, but their teams don't. The individual contributors don't. And when the leader don't and the team don't, they're not performing at their optimum level either. So that's really, really critical that the operations understand the role that they play in the outcomes of the business so that they could cascade that message and mission down to their teams.
Yes.
And when people are understanding what mission they're working towards, they really strive for it.
Exactly. When they realize how critical they are, they show up differently. If you're like, I'm the team that no one likes, or this is an issue every time, they show up differently.
Just like you said earlier, when you thought you had to be this formal, stoic person, and when you released all of that and just showed up as your authentic self, your performance elevated.
Yes.
So it works. It works.
Yes.
Yeah, that is something. So what separates someone who executes tasks from someone who leads outcomes?
Yeah, I think someone who executes tasks, they're just doing what needs to be done. And leading the outcome is like owning what needs to be done. So today I came here and what I needed to do was show up on time.
Right.
I did the task. Leading the outcome is hopefully someone who listens to this, at least one person, it feels impacted or motivated in some type of way from our conversation.
Right.
So it goes from a task to an actual outcome. And if you show up in how you work or even in your personal life thinking with that mindset, whatever you're doing, what is the outcome of it? It changes everything. Too.
That is so true. I wish I could remember that when I'm eating ice cream. Like, Rhoda, that's an outcome of this. And you're just going to gain 5 more pounds.
Yes.
Yep, that is so true.
Yes.
It's all about mindset.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
So how does your leadership mindset show up in how you make decisions today?
It shows up in every way, personally and professionally. I think the main thing is how future-oriented I am now. There was seasons or certain roles where I was just focused on the present. Whatever I need to do today or for the week or for the quarter was it. And now I'm like very future oriented. So what do I do today that will impact tomorrow? What is our team doing today that will impact tomorrow? What decision was made today that can have an impact for tomorrow? So I'm just, from a leadership perspective, I'm very future oriented and it's just aligning with where I am in my personal life of just what's the impact? And every decision that I make today is going to be great in a year or two. I'm also like getting out of the instant gratification stage where it's going to take some time. You know, they say like, it's like the microwave or the crock pot, you know? So I'm like, okay, crock pot, let it slow cook. It's going to be all right. So I'm planting seeds in that way where before I loved some instant gratification. So now I'm getting older. I'm maturing.
Girl, you sound like you was born mature. With these thought processes. That is so true. And again, social media, AI, all the things that the world is introduced is further perpetuating the microwave mindset. We want it instant, we want it quick. We have to be careful with AI too because it can lead to us not being able to think on our own.
Absolutely.
If you're relying on it to do all the thinking for you.
Absolutely. Not only that with AI, because it is such a popular topic right now. People don't realize the foundation still has to be right before you implement AI and all these automated systems. I have witnessed it, and you can scale chaos faster with AI. So if the foundation isn't right, you still don't have your processes and all of that right, you're introducing AI, and now you just scaled a bigger problem that you're going to have to put out. And it's going to cost you even more money.
And AI hallucinates. So it sounds confident. It makes you think it's done all its research.
What you want to hear.
It tells you what you want to hear. All of that. And you you have to use your own mind and brain and thinking with it. Because even for this, for our episode today, I asked it to put together the flyer, and I forgot to upload. I had done it before, and it had the picture of, it was another guest that I was working on. It had the picture of the guest and the picture of me side by side. And so then I uploaded that, and I said, this name is wrong. I don't know where you got this from. I said, this person's name is X, Y, and Z. Please correct it. It updated the image, and it changed the image of the person, the guest.
Oh, yeah, because it does its own thing. Yeah.
I said, I did not ask you to do that.
Yes.
I want you to use the exact same picture.
Yes.
You have to pay attention.
Yes.
And it was like, if I wouldn't have caught that, I was going to send that to the guest. He was going to be like, who is this?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just a very small example. But to your point, if you're not using your own human brain and critical thinking, you're just going to scale chaos much more quicker. So you've recovered millions in revenue. What are the common breakdowns you see across organizations?
Yeah. I feel like I kind of call it like the 5-finger discount. You know, it's where businesses don't realize they're selling at a discount without even trying to. And it goes over kind of 5 things. So number 1 is billing and invoicing. So something goes wrong with what's sold versus what we're getting the money for. Between the sale and the invoice, something goes wrong. That's usually the biggest issue. 2 is contract and delivery. So what is on a contract, we're not able to deliver. So now we are either having to over execute something that we weren't supposed to be doing. It wasn't a part of the contract, or we're short billing the client. So making sure that what we're telling the client we can do, we can actually deliver that.
Right.
3 is processes. So of course, internal processes. I think of the SOPs, the workflows, making sure all of that is down. When that is a mess, it's more of a personality than a process, because it's being held together by people. And if they were to leave tomorrow, it's like, what are we going to do?
Right.
4 is revenue visibility. So this can go, just leadership doesn't even understand what's happening, and all these slow leaks turns into a tsunami.
Right.
Or there's a lack of KPIs, lack of reports, lack of something that can easily tell them that we're having a problem. So revenue visibility is super important. And then 5, I call hero dependency. So that's basically where you have that one person who knows everything, 1 or 2 people, and then if they end up leaving, you find out that like, oh, it's a lot of problems. You think the systems are great, everything's good, and it was just those people holding it together. So that's kind of like the 5-finger discount. If you look at that full scope, you'll realize it's revenue leaks everywhere.
Oh my God. Enterprise needs to hire you as a consultant. Enterprise is a St. Louis one. I think they're the only family-owned car rental left in the U.S. And their house here, corporate headquarters here in St. Louis, trying to rent a car today. I actually went online last night, did a search at Avis. Avis system said we have no availability for you to pick up a car on this day, which was today. Okay, cool. Go on Enterprise. We have availability. The minivan you want, we have something like that.
Good.
Okay. Send me a confirmation. I was scheduled to pick it up at 11. They called me at 10:38 this morning to tell me we don't have any vans available. And he didn't even say it like that. He said, we 100% do not have anything available. And I was like, okay, so I wanted to ask them, then why is the system showing that? But I didn't. And so I got off the phone with him. So I called Enterprise, and then you get another center, like a call center. I don't even know if it's in the U.S. And that person say, well, let me look in the system. Oh, I see at another location they do have something available at Chesterfield. Okay, someone's going to call you, and then you can go pick up. Nobody ever called. So I called back, got another rep. That rep said, let me look. Oh, how does the Creve Coeur location work for you? Perfect, because I'm going to Creve Coeur for this today. I get my husband driving. We get on the highway, headed to Creve Coeur, get a call from the Creve Coeur. We do not have any vehicles. He said, in fact, I have 14 customers that's trying to get a minivan that's ahead of you. And he said, and the only vehicle I have on the lot is something. And I said, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know why you're telling me that. Because he said, and it's rented out. They coming in 5 minutes. Well, why are you even sharing that? So then get off phone with him. I call again. I don't know why. I'm keep trying.
I would have
They send me to Wentzville. So we turn around, get back on the highway, go to Wentzville, go in. I say, here's the confirmation number, because you get an email and everything with the confirmation. He said, we don't have no cars. Not only do we not have minivan, he said all the other locations have been calling us. We formed all our cars out. He said, I just don't want you to keep running around from store to store. There's nothing available. I said, so why don't your processes talk?
Right.
He said, we don't even interact with those people.
That's
well,
a
what's
problem.
That's a waste of money. Like, why y'all paying them Enterprise?
Yes,
So,
Enterprise revenue is leaking across people, process, and technology.
And technology everywhere. So that's an example of when Whitney says leakage, that's an example.
That's
it's like
example.
flooding. We done been to almost 3 different locations.
And as a customer, you were like overly trying to actually support and get the business. So that's even worse.
It is. So how do systems reflect leadership, either strong or weak?
I think systems are everything, and it reflects the type of leader you are and kind of what you value in a way. So like, you know, if you want a team that's promotional, you want to be a leader that is able to help someone move on, you want to set them up for success. Do you have the processes in place? They're able to go here, they're able to do things on their own without needing you. Having those systems in place shows how strong of a leader you are, but also shows what you want in your people. You want to set them up to win. So it's really important.
That's so true. Setting your people up to win. So what is one leadership habit that creates measurable business results?
I think documenting your wins is really critical. I remember doing like an exercise years ago, and I took it because I learned about documenting my wins. And so I started practicing like what wins that I had outside of corporate, just personal. And I took it back to kindergarten. I was just documenting everything that I can think of that was a win, and I was trying to tie it into a measurable thing to show how it was, a reward that I got. Why did I get that award in 5th grade? It was because of this, and that. Like, I was doing all of that. And so I think documenting your wins is really good for you telling your story, because we get so in the habit of doing, especially as, you know, new initiatives come, it can get overwhelming. So making sure to take the time to document that shows your value, because you're doing things all the time that is valuable to the business. They don't know it. And so making sure to deliver that message for you and for your team is really important.
That's a good one. That's a good best practice. So for someone who feels stuck in their role, what shift do they need to make to get to the next level?
I say start documenting those wins, especially early on. Get in that habit. I think I'm going back to like pretty much what I did. Start being your authentic self a lot earlier. Go into every opportunity and room grateful, but not grateful to the point that you think you just simply belong to be there. Like you are needed there. Understand, learn, and grow. Don't mimic. Don't mimic. I did that. So just take what you can learn from leaders. You can adapt it to yourself, but you don't need to be them directly. And then show up as your higher self, just like you would in the personal. If you're trying to personally grow, when you go there, show up. The next level that I want to be, what would I do in order to have this job? And start acting like that when you walk in.
Doing it. Yeah, that is so true. Words of wisdom. Yeah, if someone wants to start thinking like a leader this week, where should they start?
Owning the results. So I think if you understand that a leader has a lot of responsibility under them, they have to look out for the people that they're paving the way for. They have people above them that they have to answer to. So don't just come with problems. Start showing up with solutions, because if you want to be a leader, that's what you're going to have to do. You're solving every day. Above you, below you, beside you. You're solving everyone's problems, and it can get overwhelming. So start practicing that if you want to show up as a leader.
I have established this reputation as a leader. Early in my career, I had this big team. We were leading an electronic health record training program, and the employees would come with me with all these great ideas, and I would say, I listen, and I would ask questions, and then I would say, what support do you need from me to make that happen? Because they're going to own it, because I wanted to give them the opportunity to grow and glow. And my leadership style is very much similar to teaching someone how to ride a bike. Like, you're going to maybe get on it one time and show them, but then you're going to take the handlebar and hold the tip of it. Take the back of the seat, hold the tip of it. And until they learn how to get their balance and grow, and then they fall off and you're going to catch it.
Yes.
And, that's how I like to lead.
Good.
So that when they have the confidence, they can go off and ride.
Exactly.
And
I love that.
Yes. So what is one thing leaders should stop doing immediately?
I think hoarding visibility. I think when we talk about leadership, there's a certain level of selfishness that can come with it. You're, like I'm saying, document your wins. So all of these things that you have to do for you in a way. And the real point of leadership is leading people, right? Like you can be an amazing individual contributor and continue to grow that way. But if you're going to be a leader, the real wins, the biggest win that you can document is how you develop your team, how you help them with promotions, whether it's under you or not under you. So I think some leaders hoard visibilities for two reasons. One, they're so focused on themselves that they forget about the people that they're leading. And then two, sometimes you get the amazing doers that make you great and you're like, oh, I don't want you to leave. Like, I just need you to say. So stop that. Stop hoarding visibility. Grow people, develop people, send them on their way, document that as a win.
Yes, I love that, because when you are in a leadership role, it is no longer just about you. You are really developing future leaders, and your role is to get work done through others and help them to perform at their fullest, highest potential. And you know what? If people aren't your passion, you shouldn't be leading.
Exactly.
Because it really isn't about you.
Yes.
So I love that.
And there's some high performers that end up in leadership roles because they're so good at what they do, but that doesn't always mean that they should be a leader. It doesn't
translate to leadership. It does not. So what is one thing they should start doing that would change how they are seen?
A leader? I feel like it's a lot of what I was saying earlier, but start owning outcomes and thinking bigger picture. As a leader of your group, you focus on that group. It's very easy to do. And you become protective of your team and all of that, but start thinking bigger picture, especially if you're wanting to grow as a leader. Because the higher you go, the bigger scope it is. And then you're like, okay, this group affects this group. I ended up having like 3 sub teams under me. And it's like, okay, this works for this one, but it doesn't work for that one. And now I got to like put together this puzzle and think bigger. And I'm like, okay, we got to change it up. So just start thinking bigger picture.
Right. I love that. So now as we move to close, I'm going to move to the what I call rapid fire round. Okay. So I'm going to throw you a question. I only have 3. Okay. And I just want your first thought. Okay. One word that defines great leadership.
Passion.
That's what I said. People aren't your passion should be leading. One mistake leaders make too often.
I still say they're hoarding visibility. I've seen it a lot. Yeah.
Hoarding visibility.
Yeah.
Yes. And one habit that changed your career trajectory.
I think showing up as my authentic self, being not afraid to speak up in the room, and then learning the business lingo. Like I said that early on, where I'm like, hey, I could do this. No. And then I came back and I was like, hey, this is how this will help you. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah. So that helped a lot.
Whitney, you are amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so honored that you said yes to coming on to the podcast and that you traveled all the way back to St. Louis to do so in person. And how can people find you? What services do you offer?
Okay. Well, first, I just want to say thank you for this time. You're amazing. What you're doing and what you're going to continue to do is going to be so great. So this is just a small, you've done so many amazing things. So we appreciate that and continue to do it. And thank you for making room for voices for us. We appreciate it. For me, you can find me on social media. I'm at _the Benjamin Effect. So that's where I'm starting to help small business owners and founders just understand the enterprise world if they're wanting to scale, or from a people professional standpoint, if they're wanting to enter enterprise. I just want to help bridge that gap. I'm really into bridging gaps. It's been like my thing all my life. And so me being in enterprise, I just want to help founders and small businesses understand what they need to do. So you can find me there if you have any questions. I'm also on LinkedIn, Whitney Howard, soon to be Whitney Benjamin.
Yes.
So yeah, and that's where the name, The Benjamin Effect, comes in.
And congratulations, Whitney.
Thank you.
Getting married. Yes. Yeah. She has a fiance. Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Whitney, this was such a powerful conversation. What I appreciate about this conversation is the reminder that leadership is not about doing more.
Yeah.
It's about thinking differently and seeing differently and taking ownership, as you repeated, at a higher level. You showed us that growth is not accidental. It is truly intentional.
Yes.
And I can hear that in everything you've done. And for those listening, if you feel stuck, the question is not what more you need to do. It is how you need to think. Whitney have shared with you where you can contact her, the services that she offers. You can find her on LinkedIn, as she said, TikTok, Instagram, all the places. And to our audience, thank you for joining another episode of Breakthrough Conversations with Rhoda and Company.
Hey, what's your secret? You got the kind of vibe that leaves you speechless. It could be model multitasking genius. Yeah, you got it all. Hey, what's your story? A kick-ass mom and 40 under 40. A soccer practice in your high heel glory. Yeah, you do it all.